Looks like I'm live with backward lettering. All right. Pause. Some people get in here before I start yakking. I need to set the camera so it doesn't reverse. Hey, I got a couple people in here. Apologize for my unshaven look. Hey, but I am taking the day off. I see some trains. Adam, thanks for joining, Adam. Yes, today is some trains because I am at the Galveston, can you see it? Backwards, probably. Galveston County Model Railroad Club here in Galveston, Texas, south of Houston, in Galveston, pretty much. Although technically the museum is in Texas City, not Galveston, but Galveston is the next town over. And one of the things I do like to do is model trains. I've, like many of you, I'm sure, we've played with model trains since we were wee lad, little kids. And so some of my oldest memories of modeling has been with model trains. And I've had various HO setups since I was a little kid. And now I'm kind of getting into N scale. And oh yes, I think everybody, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Hope everybody had a nice Christmas. I might do a real live show with model airplane stuff sometime this week, I think, if I have time. I'm kind of busy with some stuff. But I took a couple of hours. I recently joined the Galveston County Model Railroad Club at the behest of a fellow flyer. He says, hey, you like to play with trains? Why don't you join the club here? And I thought, well, why not? I don't have a whole lot of time to devote to it, but this week they have a free day at the museum. The Model Railroad Club is located at the Texas City Museum on the upstairs floor. And it's an interesting museum, and they got this huge layout. And today all entry is free for people. So they said, hey, if you have some time, can you come over and help run the layouts? And I will show you the layouts because they are absolutely cool. And so I thought, hey, I'll give it a little live show while I'm here. It's kind of quiet at the moment. And trains are so really neat, and this layout is absolutely fantastic, and I'm really happy to be part of it. I'm actually associate member of this club, so I run my N-scale trains every once in a while. And so let me switch cameras here and show you guys some of this stuff here. What's this button do? Wrong button. There we go. All right, so I want to go, where can I go? In the corner, there's this, excuse me if I'm moving the camera around a little bit. There, I want to go into the back corner here. You can see some of the layout. And this place is absolutely huge. There is, hey Tony, saw you in there. Good to see you. I don't know how many square feet it is, but it's a lot. This has got to be pushing 6,000 square feet, maybe. It would be a rough guess. And there is a multitude of layouts. We've got right here, I believe this is a G gauge, small little layout here with some little signage here. So this is this may be LGB, I'm sorry. I believe this is LGB gauge right here. This is basically outside scale, nice little layout here. And I think if you push a button or something, you can turn it on. And some little Starship Enterprise there, if you can see it. Here is a Lionel setup. There, that is pretty nice, and it runs down the side wall here. You can see all kinds of stock on the walls. And to my left here is part of the N scale. There's one train running here. So me and another gentleman are running some N scale stuff. I started out HO scale when I was a kid, and I had a couple different layouts and ended up getting rid of most of it some years ago. And now, oh, this is kind of neat. I just noticed this thing's moving. And now I have moved to N scale as I've acquired some N scale stuff from various people. And there is a huge layout. This N scale, this is all N scale. Here, I'll show some close-ups later. Just want to give you an overview. N scale. This is all one layout. This is like almost a continuous loops with various peninsulas and that kind of stuff. N scale, N scale, N scale, all the way down. I have a train running here somewhere. if I can find it, if it hasn't stuck somewhere. It's got a wonky, oh, it's going the other way. I think I see it. All and scale. There's one of the control panels. Here.
Where's your train?
My train, I just saw it go over there, around the corner. So it's still running. One of the engines is a little wonky, but
Oh yeah, that's
here's my control. I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, excuse me.
Oh.
I have a channel. You want to say something? No? Okay. We got some gentlemen here that, here's another N scale setup. And I've got my controller here. I can walk around and control my train remotely. I can change speed, direction, that kind of stuff. And it's got some neat stuff. There's a little Superman here. I don't know if you can see him. There's a Superman flying. Oops. And there's you can't really see it. There's a guide wire here. And there is a hot air balloon. Tony, hopefully you're still on. I want to show you something. There is a little guy flying a control line airplane.
die-cast cars and all that.
They have it motorized. You can see the wires.
He collected all kinds of.
That is the coolest thing. You see another airplane on the ground.
4 or 5 of the guys that were retired at the time would take.
So there's a lot of neat animatronics. There's a Superman flying past. And some various others, a crane moving stuff, a junkyard. There's a merry-go-round. They have various things. They have factories. There's a little airport. There's a little helicopter winding up. So I'll take you around a little more. That was the N scale. Over here is HO scale. That is set up. I'm not sure if anything's running on an HO scale, but there is another large, huge layout of HO scale. Oh, here's the airport. Got various things, T6s, B-25s, DC-3s. There's another helicopter spooling up. Yeah, Tony, I knew you'd like that. Multiple tracks. It's interesting that these layouts are set up for both DCC and analog, so you can switch back and forth between the two depending on what kind of train you're running. Here's a gentleman setting up his HO scale stock, or taking it off. You see there's a beautiful mountain range over here. You can see a yard and some work in progress over here. In fact, I don't usually go down here. There's a bunch of work in progress. Look at that. He's setting it up. How you doing? Yeah, he's setting up some track diligently. There's some cork board. So we're in the back end of the HO layout. There's a little train running here. It's a steam engine. It's like a 484 steam engine. It's a really beautiful cliff mountain range. Look at this. This is beautiful. The colors, large bridges, Grand Canyon line. It's wonderful, wonderful plaster work, coloring and painting. Hopefully it's coming across clear. I got a good signal. Somebody spent a lot of time painting and carving all these various shapes and sizes. I always liked HO, probably the most, but it was just a little too large for myself, especially since I no longer live in the Northeast where we had basements. Here in the South, space is a little bit more at a premium sometimes in your houses with this kind of stuff. So that's why this layout is so fantastic. A cityscape with lights and some stock rolling around. So again, I'm at the Galveston County Model Railroading Club. I almost said Rail Control Club. Here's neat. We've got a It's always, you look closely, you think you see everything. We got to look very closely because sometimes you see some really interesting things. So here's it looks to be a carnival. You see the elephants and horses and various trolleys, some clowns, marching band. I don't know if you can see that. Give me a second. There we go. Give you a closer shot. And announcement van, and they're all walking up to the tent, the circus tent. And there's animals, there's various containers for the circus, for the train. But I bypassed, if you have a sharp eye, you'd notice that here's a building with a crashed UFO and an alien on top about to attack something. Don't know why. So, and over here is a Batmobile. So lots of whimsical stuff. Here's a train coming back where you saw earlier. Let it go past. So this is a really good place to come down for the holiday spirit. It's Christmas time, and what is Christmas without trains, right? There's another train over there. Rise Electronics. So, oh, hey, look at that. A man in black next to the UFO. So we'll go, there's lots of paraphernalia and memorabilia here. Santa Fe, some old workings from real trains. They've got newspaper clippings. There is, there's a couple other layouts. This one, I think they told me this was a narrow gauge. I think N scale narrow gauge, I think. There is a Z gauge here somewhere. I think it's outside of the main room. And sometimes there's little buttons. If you press the button, there's another button. I played music, that one. Press this one. I'm not sure what they do. There's just multiple buttons. Ah, there, one calls a light to flash. There's a campfire. And we can see it. So a lot of the stuff is interactive. I'm going to press another button here. And, the lighthouse turned on. And there's a building that looks like there's welding going on inside of it. So, I guess it's the magic buttons does things. Some do things, some don't. Another sound effect for this one. So there's some really impressive stuff. Some of the stuff is just really just good eye candy. Here's a Rotary Yard here, turntable, N scale. I have no idea if it works or not, but it's really impressive. Look at all the trains on there. And another large yard of things, of stuff. Oh, look at little tanks, little Sherman tanks on here, and some half tracks and stuff. We've got an oil refinery. Another bridge. So, yeah, a working windmill. So that's what I really like, is all the animatronics. That really tickles my fancy. And so here's like a shipyards, dockyards. Oh, good thing I came over because my train has, this is actually my train and it has derailed. You can kind of hear it. I don't know if you can hear it. It's running there. So I'm going to turn it off here. Give me a second to put this thing back on. So as I mentioned earlier, I've got a remote unit, so I'm going to turn it off here. There we go. And re-rail it. I've had my own calamity here. So let me see about getting it. Looks like it had derailed and come back all the way around on itself because the caboose is now on the front. And that's not right. So let me move this, put this back here. I think maybe I will make it a shorter train here. So spending time putting all the cars back on. Put my caboose. So the only thing about N scale is getting them back on the track sometimes is a little tricky. Come on, get on there. There we go. Ah, get on there. I'm gonna do this one-handed. Of course, it may have been acoustic came off. So I'll put those on later. Let me just take these off. So now my long train is a short train, but it'll be cool to see. Here's a remote, so I'll just hit the throttle again. See if it moves. There we go. Sort of a mixed lineage here. We got a Conrail with a Burlington Northern rolling stock. But I just ran out of the house, grabbed whatever I could, and there she goes. So it's real neat to be able to walk around with the remote and not having to go back to the actual control panel to do anything. And it's nice, I can select different tracks on this, speeds, direction, all kinds of cool stuff. And here it is about to walk in here real quick. I got to move around in a pretty good clip. This is a mountain range I'm going to go in, another train going in the opposite direction. And he should come out somewhere out here somewhere, I think. Give it a second. Here it is. And I just noticed we got a ski slope. Got some skiers coming down. So, and really nice, nicely weathered refinery here. So I think that is about all of it. We'll go take a last look at the Lionel. We'll walk through here. I am a new member, so I don't know all the controls for everything. I know the G scale can work, but I can't remember. I think we turn it on. I don't remember. Oh, there we go. We got Thomas the Train's working. Hey, I got Thomas the Train running. There he is, he's eyeballs. And we've got Homer passed out. Oh. It's a very whimsical place. If you're ever in Galveston, South Houston area of Texas, you should stop by, take a look if you like trains. It's really impressive layout. Here's going back to the Lionel scale with a dinosaur on top of the thing. Very 50s era looking cars all over the place here. You're welcome, Tony. Thanks for joining in. Good to hear from you. You have very good holidays. Enjoy your time. I know you will. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. I don't think there's much else I can show you. I think I'll wrap things up. But look at all the stock. It's just an amazing place. Here's another wide shot again of the Galveston County Railroad Club. So we had HO, Lionel, LGB, O scale, HO. There's a neat little comparison. Here's another train running. I'll show you on the side here. One guy I'm running with, he's got a bunch of Kato stuff. Kato. It got stuck, and I found it. Hopefully it's back again. That's a good point. Where did it go? It just came out of the... Yeah, with my luck, it's underneath the tunnel, yes. I might have to go find my train again. But here's a neat comparison of the different scales. So we've got, I believe that's a Z gauge at the very top, sorry. Z and then an N, it looks bigger down there, and an HO, and very other sizes, so that's pretty good. If you're in the Houston area, there's a train show coming up, January 7th. Lone Star Division, check that out if you're in the area. Oh yeah, there's a little room here. I don't know if you can see very well. Looks like some Z gauge, little layout, probably a portable layout, another N gauge. Here it is. I thought there was a Z gauge. There's a little Z gauge layout here on the side. It's not really doing anything. It does have a little airplane. Looks like a Jenny flying around. And I think this is outside the museum if you're just curious. Yeah, there it is. Here you can see some of the really new camera. I'm inside of a building, so it's probably a little wonky and it's kind of dark, but just one more layout out here. Kind of plain, but there's some more aircraft. Looks like a Wright Flyer. Yeah, this is interesting. It's sort of a abandoned layout in the middle. So anyways, let me switch cameras here. Thanks everybody for joining me. I thought hopefully this was interesting. You want to see my mug. I'll switch back. Here we go. There's the entrance to the Galveston County Model Railroad Club. And they do go on shows. They take some of the layouts out to some of the shows and events. I believe some of these are modular and they have their own layouts. And here it is. It's still running. There's a little bugger. All right, so I'm gonna go back. And here's a neat little control panel. I can switch between DCC and manual, various switches and kind of a hieroglyphics. Something with a blinky board on it. So there we go. Thanks everybody for joining me. Hopefully I didn't miss any good chats here. I can't see the chats. Anyways, thanks everybody for joining me, and I really appreciate your time. And everybody have a wonderful week and a good holiday. And I will talk to you soon.